Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome, Massenomics listeners, to episode 189 of the Massenomics podcast. We are the lifting podcast about nothing. Before we get deep into the podcast here, we're going to hear a little bit from some of our great sponsors that we've got. This episode is going to be brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training related, nutrition and body composition related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use code MASS in all caps for 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. We've got a Hybrid Performance Method testimonial that we'll hear from later on in the show. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Games athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There's free shipping on all orders over $60, and 99% of orders are shipped the same day that they are placed. Today's episode is also brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, they leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. Those are our sponsors for this episode. Like I said, this is 189. We've got a lot of good stuff to cover today. We're going to talk about some really huge benching that went on. Mm-hmm. Some of us testing out some of the new products that we got in our gym.
Yep.
We've got underrated, overrated, of course.
All the fan favorites.
Yeah, we've got a lot of segments in our back pocket that we can hit up if we need to. What else?
Need to? More like want to, Tanner.
Well, right.
We're in control here.
That's true. We do run the show.
Everyone's just along for the ride.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
And most importantly, we'll hear from our sponsors.
I was gonna say, and can't forget the ads
Yeah,
either. We got
right.
some ads on deck,
Right.
like we do.
Yeah. And you're wearing the Jefferson deadlift shirt. That looks nice.
The classic. But I'm also wearing something a little new and different here. I don't even know if we can really even talk about these.
Well,
much,
I don't
Tanner.
know, and I don't know if you can really see it on camera or not. But you're wearing something new on your lower body.
It's covering the lower half, not the top half, the lower half.
And it's covering your entire lower half.
And it's not lift shorts.
No.
So we'll maybe keep the teaser going one more week here. It's not quite time to let the people know.
Yeah, because this will come out. Yeah, they can't. I guess they can't know quite yet.
It'll be just a little early.
Right. But next week we'll
so
be
stay
able to
tuned,
talk
people,
about it.
because it's going to rock your world.
It is going to rock their world.
Oh, yeah. Tanner, I was curious. This past Monday was Veterans Day.
Yes. Just a couple days ago.
And I'm sure even longtime listeners of the show will forget the fact that you are a veteran because you're not one of the veterans that wants everyone to know you're a veteran.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's just.
But there are definitely some people that's very even many years post their service. That's like
it's their identity.
Very, very large part of their
and
identity.
Again, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But that's
It's
not who you are.
No, right.
So even I a lot of times forget that you're a veteran too, Tanner.
Yeah.
So you got to.
I almost forget sometimes.
So you got to partake in some activities to celebrate the day. It looked like.
Yeah. My son Jack is in second grade, and at his elementary school, like a week before, they asked me if I would be willing to. They have this program every year, and I've gotten to it, the last 2 or 3 years. And they asked if I would be willing to speak at it. And, most of it is like the kids saying a few cool things and like they sing their songs and stuff like that. And there was someone else speaking there last year and probably the year before that. And my first thought was, no, I don't want to do it. And the reason being not because I'm nervous about talking. I'm not nervous about talking in front of people. I get anxious the closer it gets to it. And that's all I think about as it leads up to
Just
it. Like
consuming.
the entire rest of the program, I cannot focus on. And this, not just for this program, it goes for anything outside of this podcast. I don't get this feeling for when we record the podcast anymore. But like when I'm going to speak in front of a large group of people, the closer it gets to it, that's all I think about.
Yep.
And like if it's in a setting where other people are talking and stuff, like they might as well be saying.
Oh yeah. It just
nothing.
they could speak in any language. I 100% know what you mean, and it would basically register the same amount because I am not checked into that thing.
Literally just replaying in my head some of the things that I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it and when I'm, the order and all of that stuff. So that's why at first I was like, I don't want to because I can't enjoy. Like
I can't even have fun.
No,
at
I'm
this
not
thing.
going to enjoy it because that's all I think about is what my speech. And then I came home and Jack really wanted me to do it, so then I was like, okay, I'll do it then because Jack's 8 now.
He said, but you really owe me, right?
And he's like, you better not suck, Dad. But my thought was like, he still thinks that I'm cool most of the time, and likes if I do something like that. I'm like, I probably won't last that much longer.
I got to take advantage of this while this exists.
While it's still. Well, he still actually thinks it's cool, so I agreed to do it. And I didn't talk for that long. I talked for maybe in between 5 and 10 minutes. And
really, you're talking to second graders, or was it the whole school?
Oh, it's the whole school.
Oh.
Yeah. So It's kindergarten through 5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
But really, 5 to 10 minutes is all they really want to hear anyone for.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of other veterans there and like family and stuff like that. So it was it was a gym full of.
Yeah. See, I thought when you said it was a class like the second graders.
No, that would be really easy. I wouldn't even really prepare for that. I don't think, because then I could almost like sit in a chair in front of the class. And
you can just show up and be like, all right, kids, what do you want to do today? Yeah. Okay. That's a whole different presentation now.
Yeah. And, I do sometimes like a podium or something like that.
Something to kind of...
Yeah, and this was very much...
open air.
Wide open, and I was like, that's okay, too. And that was... It went good. I just talked about a little bit about what I did in a way that would appeal to a second grade kid. And then just talked about why I think Veterans Day is important. And that was really my 2 talking points. And that was it. And then besides that, I got them to do... I explained to them when you're in the Army and you're in front of a group of people like I was in front of them, and you ask a question and the answer is yes, the group doesn't respond like by shouting yes. They say huh is like the Army word. In the Marines, they say like oorah, but in the Army, it's huh. So I got, I asked them if they're thankful for the veterans that are here today, and they did it once, and it was like, oh, that's not good enough. Let's do it better. And then did it like the 4th time, and it's like ringing everyone's ears in the building. Yeah, that you've seen that 100 times. Where and with kids it works great.
Yes, yeah. And anything they can yell and scream about, they're on board with.
Yeah, so that's what I did first, actually, which is a good way to break the ice for me. Even then, I'm like, all
right, the pressure's off. We can have some fun now.
Yeah, so that's what I talked about, and it went pretty good.
Cool.
I called out my son in front of the whole school.
Did you?
And I said I was his dad, and I found him in the audience and pointed to him and said, he's right there. And I think he was probably a little bit red in the face.
Probably.
Yeah.
But that's your duty as a dad, right?
That's right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Express your dominance.
Yeah. But it was just like that, where until I was up there speaking, I was thinking about nothing but what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Oh, I'm 100% there, but like. For me, even like when if I have a big presentation or something to give, let's say it's at noon, or most meetings aren't at noon. Let's say it's about midday though.
Yeah.
It just gets to the point where it's like other emails and things are coming in, and I'm like, I can't even focus because all I can think about is how this presentation and what I got to do to like make this go right.
Right.
And all the pieces, and I got to read it over 1,000 times because
keep replaying
I know I missed something in here. I know I did.
Yeah.
Even though usually you don't. And if you did, it probably wouldn't even matter.
Right.
But you just think like, all right, this will be the thing that someone will get hung up on, and this will totally kill the whole vibe and whatever's going on here.
Yep.
But end of the story. I mean, moral of the story, it's almost never an issue.
No. And, I think the hardest part for me to get over is when you're up in front of a group like that. It's okay for there to be moments of silence. Like you get this feeling like you have to be talking
Oh, the
nonstop.
pause. The pause. You can ride a pause out a long time before people will think there's something wrong.
Right, but in your head, it's like if I'm not talking,
the silence is deafening.
yeah.
Stop. Oh God, this is bad. Like immediately.
And that's something I have to like tell myself even beforehand, like try to get myself, because I'll get going and not be able to, almost like not be able to stop having words come out.
Gotta wind down here. Yeah.
Even if they start to make, the more and more you try to fill silence, like the less sense the words make.
Yeah. Starts to look like you're out of control.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But what do you think about public speaking?
I would say I think most people would say it's something they wish they were better at.
Yeah, I think everyone.
But it's one of those things that unless you have a job that like routinely calls for it, it's hard to be good at it.
Yeah.
And I think even the people there's a big difference between also being comfortable and being good at it. There's a lot of people that are comfortable in front of crowds that are terrible on a mic.
Right.
And I think there's also a lot of people that are not comfortable, but they're good at public speaking.
Right.
I probably fall into a very middle spot on both of those.
Right. Yeah. I think like, I mean, if it's your job and you just get so good at it, you probably eventually stop even feeling anxious about it. But like, I don't even think that's a bad thing. I think that helps you.
I mean, it is a bit of a performance at any time, and to be, I mean, with
it's like they say, if just like powerlifting, if you're not getting nervous and excited for your lift,
is 90% ever just quit? Whatever 90% is, that just ever just quit making you nervous? Because that seems kind of weird to think that would just never be something that like gets you amped up in any way.
Right.
And I would like to think that maybe that's kind of like that too. But
yeah, I think it is. Do you think the podcast makes you better at public speaking?
I've actually thought about this before too. I don't know. I think it maybe makes you better at like trying to articulate ideas and things like that. But I don't know if it's just
really
because this is such
different.
this is such a casual thing.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're trying to give a presentation or something, or a speech or something, it typically is more structured and not so just off the cuff, and it can be whatever it is and it doesn't really matter,
I agree, because I was thinking about that, as I was getting ready for this, and I was like, wonder if the podcast is helping me be better at this. And like you said, I think maybe there's some aspects of some certain things that maybe I'm better at because of it.
I think the biggest one is just the idea of a microphone and a camera being in front of me.
Yeah,
that one is way less intimidating.
Yeah.
And then the thought of, or the sound of my own voice doesn't just jar me completely anymore. That is the one thing where most people, it's like, my voice, make it stop.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, episode 189, that stopped like 8 episodes ago. So I'm over that now.
Yeah, it only took the first 181 to. Yeah, but I do remember when we very first started how that was weird, even though it was like, oh man, where I felt nervous when we would start.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh God, I hope we don't mess this up.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we can mess it up, and I guess people just got to listen to it.
And
it's just the way it's going to be.
Can they even tell the difference if we're messing it up or not messing it up?
Probably not. Just the same quality they've come to know and love.
You try never to get very good, because then people can't tell the difference in a good and a bad performance.
That is the key. If you never get good, people can't discern either way.
That's right.
Yep.
But that's what I did for Veterans Day.
Wow. Well, Tanner.
Still had to work.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Still had to work. They made the veterans work on Veterans Day.
This would be like a holiday or something to stop that.
When I worked at the bank, it was.
I know. The bank's got it figured out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service, Tanner, and we will look forward to a report next year to see how you can spice it up.
I do figure this will I should be good for. Like they have to rotate some other people.
Probably, yeah. They can't bring back the same speaker every year.
Yeah, and also, there's probably people that have more interesting stories than me, and that was a big part of what I told them. Actually, is that at least in my experience and from what I know, a lot of people's experience in the military, most of it's not that exciting or heroic or brave.
Well, did you talk about the basketball game, though?
Well, no, I didn't explain any of that, actually. I thought about it.
That's the problem, is you didn't tell them about playing basketball.
Right, yes.
They're getting the wrong idea of what the
What
Army
you
can
do.
be.
Yeah, but I told them, most of it's not like even for the people doing the craziest, quote unquote coolest stuff, 95 or more % of the time is not doing anything cool at all. Is just kind of just doing your job and being where you're supposed to be at when you're supposed to be there. And
Yeah.
and for the majority of people, 99+% of the time is like that. Mm-hmm. And then just maybe you'll be in the situation where you use your training in some way, but most of it is not actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not like the movies.
No, not at all. At least for your average soldier.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the special forces.
Didn't take it to that level.
No.
Yeah. Well,
So that's Veterans Day.
exciting stuff.
Yeah. What's the next holiday? Next holiday we got coming up is day after Thanksgiving.
Day after my favorite holiday of the year, day after Thanksgiving. Yep. And because we're Massenomics, we do have some stuff planned.
We do have.
It's like a Massenomics holiday.
It is.
It is totally a Massenomics
That's like
holiday.
a 3-day holiday. And it's the kind of holiday where if we don't sell a lot of stuff, we're going to be deeply depressed for like a year.
My self-worth is tied to
Yeah.
the business's success of that holiday.
It is. This is the first year where I have expectations.
There's expectations associated with it.
Right. Because last year went great, actually. But
Well, because
also
our
we had no
expectations were absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
We could sell 5 T-shirts.
Right.
Oh, I think that's fine, right?
And then we sold a shitload of stuff that day, and we're like, whoa.
Is this Black Friday? Like, yeah,
And now this year, it's like, oh man, if it tanks, that's really going to be disappointing.
yeah. So, listeners, don't
We're kind
let
of
it
relying
tank.
on you guys.
Yeah.
to
Don't
buy
let it
something.
tank.
Buy something.
Our livelihoods and self-worth depend on it.
Mostly our self-worth.
Yeah, mostly, yes. We've already sold a pair or two of lift shorts, so
Yeah.
livelihoods
Living
not
off
the
the
issue.
interest.
Yep, that's right. We should probably give people some updates on a few pieces of equipment in
We
the
do.
gym.
Yes.
And last week at this time, we were really looking forward to talking about, or to getting to use the Rogue
Echo
deadlift
bike.
bar
Oh, yeah. Yes.
and the Rogue Echo Bike.
Yeah.
And I can report back and saying that I have used the Echo Bike now for 2 sessions. I have not used the deadlift bar.
Have you touched it?
Actually, I feel dumb saying this now, but until we just had this conversation, the fact that the deadlift bar was in the gym totally left my
Yeah,
mind. I
yeah.
actually forgot about it completely. So I have not touched it yet. Why is it? Did you
The
touch
knurling's just, when we first got the Oki bar and the knurling was like, whoa.
it? Yeah, this is
And-
crazy. Yeah.
And now the knurling on this new bar is like that. And the Oki bar has.
Do you think it's more aggressive than the Oki bar, or
Well,
is
it's
it
more
just that
aggressive
it's,
than the Oki bar is now.
Well,
but
yeah,
I think like when they're both new, it was
They're
the
probably
same.
pretty similar, yeah.
But now you can definitely tell now where you grab the Oki bar after grabbing the Rogue one, and you're like, oh, where did the knurling go?
Yeah, it's just kind of weird, but
I guess it just gets worn down.
Yeah.
It gets used a lot.
it does. It's pretty much permanently on
Yeah.
on the deadlift platform.
But
so
the deadlift bar, there's not that much to say. Everyone's probably used a deadlift bar, and a lot of people have probably used this one. But it's nice, and it was a boneyard bar, and I'm still not sure what the caps say boneyard bar, but
did you notice any blemishes?
I
or
don't know
defect?
stuff that I'm like, I don't know. Is that a defect or is
Yeah.
that just like a smudge from the packaging? Where I'm like, on the rings, like really, if you look really close at the knurling right next to the rings, maybe there's like a millimeter where it looks like there's like double knurling or something like
really?
that. And I couldn't tell. Do they always look like that? Am I just seeing it because I'm looking for something?
So, this being the first ever boneyard bar,
Yeah.
you could give your highest recommendation to boneyard bars.
Yes, I like if the price
And
is
I mean, given that they're
Yeah.
they're going to be varying quality in there,
Right,
but
right.
if they're somewhere in this ballpark, there's absolutely nothing to worry about.
exactly.
Yeah,
As long as you're getting one with like the appropriate finish that you're after. And the reason a part of the reason this one is so cheap, besides it being a boneyard, is because it's all bare steel, and not some people don't want that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. The black oxide wears off like crazy on every
it
bar
does.
that's like has that.
because that's
so-
what is on the Texas Power Bar, isn't it?
Yeah, both the Texas Power Bars. It's on the Rogue.
It's just weird though. After maybe some gyms are a little different because maybe they have different bars and the rotation's a little better on them.
Yeah.
But the Texas Power Bars with the black oxide shaft,
Yep.
it's just like gone on those things.
Yeah. I mean, they've gotten used a ton.
And it just like feathers out where people touch it too.
Yeah,
You
it
can
does.
tell where it's rubbing on legs, where it's rubbing on backs,
Yep.
where people are grabbing it. And then it gets out to the ends and it's
then
good.
it's kinda black,
but then it fades off again where it's
'Cause
always
then,
in the cups and the rollers, you know.
And we have a Rogue power bar that's black. We
that
have
one is,
We have a Cerakote black one, but
Mm-hmm.
we have one that's black oxide, and I'm not sure. I think it's kind of worn too.
Yeah. That one does get used less than the power bars.
Right.
though.
The Texas power bars probably get used the most out of all the bars in the gym, I would say. I don't know. The Kabuki bar gets used quite a bit because certain people want to use that one, but
Yeah.
I think in general the Texas power bars get used the most.
I think so too. Just because you can use them for squat and
Right.
everything. But okay, so bar, we're on board with
It was
that.
a bar, yeah.
Now the Echo
Didn't
Bike.
take very long to put together either.
So that was gonna be my first
I
question.
did like the packaging. Did you see the note I had on that? The packaging on the Rogue one that the bar, it had the end cap of it was made of like metal and it was stapled in.
Oh yeah, you did.
Because I have gotten multiple bars before that have gotten sent that are poking out of the package by the time they get there.
Yeah.
It was a bitch to get that metal thing out of there.
I mean, do you need like a needle nose pliers?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. To get you have to.
But it
pull
makes sense.
each
I mean, if you have
individual staple
a
out.
barbell and they're rolling around, like it needs to be secure.
Right. So that is a good idea.
Yeah, I would. Part of me wants to think that with Rogue kind of being the market leader, they're probably also the market leader in packaging as well, which does make sense.
Well, and it's in their best interest because for every bar that they ship out that shows up poking out and beat to shit, people they're going to get
hundreds
complaints.
of dollars.
Yeah.
And it's, I would assume for the most part, they don't want to be shipping stuff back. Either,
Right,
You know,
right,
so it's just like a
yes.
complete loss, really, at that point.
Yes. But I've seen other people talk about it before. That's the first one I've gotten that way, and I do think that is a good idea.
All right.
Other companies could probably start doing that. I think it's
They might not care enough.
That's true.
Now the Echo Bike.
Yeah.
What was assembly like on that thing? Was it 2 pieces or?
No, it was. It took like an hour to
Oh,
put
it
together.
did. So
yeah.
there was some.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
there was.
I don't know if it was
there
like,
was
all right,
a.
here's the big fan and
No.
you strap on the seat.
No,
and you're
there
good to go.
was. It was a book and then one of those cardboard things where that's bubble wrapped and it has like 6 of these type of screw and 8 of this
Gotcha.
bolt and 12 of these lock washers and it comes with its own screwdriver and wrenches and it took an hour with me going slow. Like I unpacked everything very slowly and was setting everything there and it probably took an hour. You could probably do it in half an hour if you were moving quick and the second one would take you I could probably put together in 20 minutes, once you know what you're doing too. But no, you have to put the handles on and put the pedals on and put the monitor. Like the monitor comes just in a box and you have to like put that arm on it and plug the wires in together and screw the monitor on and everything. I did have to, and they even tell you have to do this, like the arms.
Yep.
They shouldn't have any play in them at all, and they didn't when I first put it together. But then after it gets used a little bit, you got to go back in. You got to go tighten a couple things.
All right.
But it was good. Everything went together like it was supposed to.
Okay.
And the box was beat to hell.
Was it?
Yeah, it had holes looks like someone rammed it with a forklift, but nothing was damaged.
Oh,
at all.
that's good.
Like someone responded to I had put the box on our Instagram story, and someone said that it looks like they dropped that out of an airplane to get to Aberdeen or something like that, because it was really beat to shit.
Wow. All right, but it's all good. So, if I had to ask you to describe it in just a few words, what would you say?
It's really beefy. I like the word beefy and solid, and seems like it's built to last.
As far as workouts on it, what would you say?
Oh, it's fucking hard.
So that was
It's like very few seconds of work are very hard.
And I guess if people have like Airdyne bikes or assault bikes that do CrossFit stuff, they're probably like, well, yeah, what did you expect?
Yeah,
but I've never, ever done and I've done years ago at a gym I was a member of. I remember going on I'm going to end my workout with 20 minutes on the bike. And you can just
casually pedaling the bike.
Yeah, or even not that casually, but
even briskly, yeah.
You can go quite a while.
Yeah.
And you'll get a sweat going, but your lungs
like,
never
I'm going
start on
20
fire.
miles an hour.
Yeah, and you can just keep cruising along.
Yeah.
And on this one, right away I see, so I'm reading the thing, and there's all right, there's the the different intervals that are built in, and one of them is 10 seconds of work,
20
rest. There was another one, 20 seconds of work, 10 rest. I'm like,
I don't know who the hell.
20 seconds of work probably seems like a little too much. I'll go with the 10 seconds of work, 20 rest, and it goes 8 intervals. So that's a total of 4 minutes. I'm like, 4 minutes? Well, I guess when I'm done, maybe I'll just do like 3 or 4 of those. Is what I thought in my mind. I'm like, okay, then in theory I did my 10 to 12 minutes of cardio for the day.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I hit the 3rd interval, and I was like, whoa,
You're like, holy shit,
what
how did 20
happened?
seconds get so fast?
How did 20
and 10 seconds get so long?
And why am I dying right now?
Yeah.
And I just, on the principle of it, I'm like, I'm gonna finish this.
Yeah.
My rest is gonna be way more rest than, and the rest isn't sitting doing nothing, but
yes.
the rest is
Going to be very
The rest
very
went
easy.
from being fairly aggressive to getting really conservative. in a
Literally
hurry.
like doing as little as you can.
And I got off of that thing, and I thought, whoa, this is bad. Whatever just happened to me.
Yeah.
And Larry was in there, and Larry wanted to talk about the Vikings right away. And the Vikings win against the Cowboys, which normally I'm 100% down for talking about a Vikings win, but I go, oh, Larry, I'm kind of struggling right now. And I couldn't stop coughing. I couldn't stop coughing.
Yep.
And it's that thing where you feel like you got the blood in your throat, and
It was working out some demons.
it was working out some demons. And I came home, and that was the first thing I told my wife. And she's like, what's wrong with you? I go, the bike, it murdered me.
Yeah.
It murdered me. And so today was round 2. And I'm like, I'm gonna do the same thing again. I got to see what I can do. And I think partly now I was 100% caught off guard mentally. I went into it thinking I was going to do 3 or 4 rounds of it.
Right.
And I was a quarter of the way through the first round and I was dying.
Yeah.
So this time I sort of knew what to expect. It's still, I was not in a good spot when I was done, but it wasn't like just so shocking to the system.
Yeah. I've done it twice too. And I did the first time I did the 10, 20. And I did 6 I could have finished.
Yeah.
But I did 6 and was
Like,
I was
what are we gaining here?
Well,
Can we
that's,
do
and I
more?
was I just wanted to test this thing out. I was just like, and I was figuring out, I was like, oh, okay, this is how I do this. I figured out how to run it. And I'm like, I'm going to go through this. And then I didn't even know it was 8 until I started going. And I was like, you see the 8 dots and you're like, okay, that's what I'm doing here. And you can, I think the key to that being good is you really can go balls out.
You
for
can.
10.
You
like
can
you can
attack that.
Yeah,
thing,
like you do.
Out,
you
can take out aggression on that.
That's the exact word. Like you go attack it.
Because now the name assault bike makes sense to me. I get that name now. But even I'm halfway through, and it's not just the pedaling part; it's the arm moving part.
You're like,
because at one point I was getting really, really tired, and I kind of sat up and you adjust my feet, and I was like, "Whoa, that took a lot of the strain out of the equation here." This, it still isn't easy, but there's something about when you're just going that it drains you hard.
Yeah, it does, and like you said, attack, and that is the exact word. And comparing it to maybe just a regular old Schwinn Airdyne or something, I'm like, I could not do on that what I'm doing on the Rogue Echo bike. It would be wobbling apart.
It'd be in pieces on the ground.
It would tip over, I think, because you can really get to swinging.
And that still is the shot. You just sit on it and you kind of want to pedal both directions and be like, all right, where's the belt going to slip? And it doesn't. It has that responsiveness to it that's hard to actually comprehend until you're on one.
The second time I did a custom interval and I was like, all right, I want to figure out how to do this. And and then you can set up more periods too. You could do more 10 or more or less, or set it up for 5 or whatever. But so I set up 8 and did 10 on and 40 off. Yeah. And I was like, okay, and it was still not easy. I was still, because you can go in 10 seconds, you can just always I could just go a little harder.
And I do remember Tyler talking about this. He said people are like, all right, we're going to do a 10-second sprint. And the people that say they can do it all day, it's like, no,
you're not sprinting.
You're not doing a sprint.
Right.
And now I really get that concept, because that first one right out of the gate, you feel like you can almost just rip the handles off the thing. Yeah. And that doesn't exist.
No.
Even for me by the fourth one, that's gone.
There is visually, maybe it doesn't look that much different, but there is definitely like a line between sandbagging a little and really going as hard as you can.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, like it's because you start to get to want, you're like, if I just like just sandbag just a little, it gets a lot easier. And that's not really a sprint then at that point,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, then the other thing, just because of how absolutely non-existent my cardio game is, you get done with that and it's like you burned 50 calories. It's like 50?
Yeah.
What's that, like a bite-sized Snickers bar? I don't even like it. That's the thing that's mind-blowing about it.
Right.
Is that's how much work it takes to burn calories.
But like, so really on the calorie burning side of it, it's not gonna do that much. But like the cardiovascular side of it, though, it still is like a good
just to get the
stimulus to your system.
It is like no part of anyone that says like, well, the style that my workout is, I don't need to do cardio. Cardio might not be an important part to you, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But no part of lifting ever will attack your cardio system the way this does. It does not exist.
And I can see, I was talking about this with Ross, another guy at the gym, and because he's been doing it too, and he did the intervals, and it killed. Like he's like, admittedly, he's same way. He says, I have no cardiovascular.
You just realize like how much of a hole there is in your game,
right?
Like,
then he was talking about like how do you think that this fits into powerlifting training, and like how can it be good, or like will it be detrimental? Do you think like if doing that too much, like is it gonna worsen my trying to gain strength? And I was like, I don't know. The way I look at it, if you're doing it like if it takes about 5 minutes, and if you do that like 2 or 3 times a week, I don't see any negatives,
especially at the end
training.
of your workout.
Right.
Like if you're doing it first thing, it might kind of mess up your workout.
But even, and like the scenario I was thinking was doing it, you have a big squat tomorrow, like a heavy 5x5 squats or 5 sets of 3 or 3x3 or anything like that. I still don't think doing like 8 intervals of balls out work on the bike is going to set you back, because it's 5 minutes of work. There shouldn't be any muscle soreness. It's literally just like 5 minutes of cardiovascular training.
Yeah.
I don't think it like accumulates that much more fatigue that it's, if in the long run, I think it's going to be helpful, because your time between sets is going to that's where you'd notice the differences.
Yeah, and just I think
less struggle between sets.
Everything working better, and it's low impact. It's not even
there's
not even like running where there's pounding.
No.
There's no weight bearing.
No,
really,
and I really don't think it creates any sort like muscle soreness. I suppose if you didn't do anything,
I had some burn going on in my quads right away, but
not
that went
like,
away in a hurry.
Yeah,
like I didn't have. It wasn't like I
not like the next day you're like, no, I don't think you would ever have that feeling from it.
No, but overall, I'm very, very impressed with the unit so far, and I'm excited to see if I can ever get to a point where I was thinking
20.
ahead.
What about the 20-10 interval? How hard?
I don't think that can, because this is what I was already thinking of. Is the better I get at, like, assuming I stick with this, what accommodating resistance or whatever says, you should get better. You should adapt to the stimulus. So, but my thing is the better I get,
you just go even harder?
I'm just
for
going
those
to
10
go
seconds?
harder though.
Yeah.
So am I ever actually going to get better?
Right. Right.
And I have just a hard time seeing to the point where I can just cruise through 8 sessions.
But it is also recording then your, say, calories and distance and stuff like that. So it's, can you do that 8 intervals and have a better distance or max watt or calories or whatever metric you use to track it, because it tracks like what, and like you can get those things if you like really go, you can get those really to hum on there too.
Oh yeah, because there's the speed and what was this rhythm, one of them too, or cadence.
Cadence was on there too.
No, I recommend the piece to anyone, and I actually am excited to see where this takes me.
Yeah,
and I think
not very far, because the wheel is just a fan.
Not far at all, but I can see how this could benefit someone training for strongman.
Oh yeah,
like it falls right into the sprint medley part.
Yes,
Yep.
I'm kind of surprised more people don't.
I think it's just because it sucks to do it so much.
Yeah.
And it's not exactly a cheap piece of equipment either.
No, not at all. Unless you get it on a sweet Black Friday deal and it saves you like $30.
I gotta assume the retail or the resale on these things is pretty high.
I think it would be very high. If you tried to sell one of these, someone would buy it really
especially
fast.
If you live in a bigger market. I have a hard time believing you could buy one for $750 and not resell it even a year later for $650 or maybe
for
more.
$100 less you can sell it. That's like a Concept 2 rower. They hold all their resale value too, and you just can't find them.
Yeah, it's
like you are not going to find our used Rogue Echo Bike to buy.
no,
ever.
no, it just sounds kind of dumb to even say it that would be a thing. But all right, we approve.
Yes,
we should probably do some ads now, Tanner.
Oh, perfect.
This episode of the Massenomics podcast is brought to you by the Hybrid Performance Method. If you've been training without a coach and have been looking for a competitive edge, remember to check out hybridperformancemethod.com. Hybrid has 15 different strength and fitness programs covering everything from powerlifting and strongman to gymnastics and general fitness, all included in one training membership. That's not all. Hybrid also offers one-on-one personalized nutrition coaching that uses lifestyle habits and a flexible approach to shape your nutrition plan around your current lifestyle, instead of turning your lifestyle upside down in order to support unsustainable habits that only work in the short run the way most programs do. If you're ready to take your training, nutrition, or both to the next level, use code MASS in all caps for 5% off memberships to all programs for the life of your membership.
Oh, yeah.
Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Game athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. They have over 2,100 training tools from the top brands like Titan Support Systems, ER Equipment, Spud Inc., Skull Smash, Prolock Collars, Kabuki Strength, Texas Bars, Pioneer Belts, and more than 15 other manufacturers. Lifting Large has been serving strength athletes around the world through their online store for over 15 years. Owners Mike and Teal Ottoman have over 55 years of experience competing in powerlifting, strongman, and Highland Games. They hold multiple world and American records, so you can rest assured knowing the products they carry are the best in the industry. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There's free shipping on any orders over $60, and 99% of orders are shipped the day they are placed. Listeners of the Massenomics podcast can save 20% on Lifting Large branded items. Just use discount code MASS20 at checkout. That's MASS20 at checkout to save 20% on Lifting Large branded items. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's liftinglarge, DOTCOM. And the Massenomics podcast is also brought to you by Spud Inc. and the Spud Inc. cable handles. Built to be bomb-proof, the Spud Inc. cable handles feature a 6-inch long steel handle with a textured rubber coating and come with large spring clips for attaching to cable machines, bands, chains, or even suspension straps. Strong enough to take whatever you throw at them and flexible enough to be used for dozens of different exercises, the deluxe cable handles might be the only handles you will ever need. Check out Spud Inc. online for the cable handles and other great products at spud-inc-straps.com, and be sure to follow them on Instagram at SpudIncStraps.
Speaking of that, did you notice the shirt that I have on
I
there?
did. What a coincidence, Tanner.
Purely coincidence.
Obviously.
Doesn't have anything to do with them being a
That's
sponsor.
that's a good looking shirt. I really like that thing.
I got the black Spud Ink shirt with the Spud Ink yellow logo
that
on
is
it.
that is a classic. There's
It
no
is.
doubt about that.
Sometimes that's all you. That's why we might need to eventually do. You know, we have our OG shirt.
I know. We
might need to do
an updated.
Yeah, something with just very similar to this. Just the
Just
name across
black and yellow,
and it says say Massenomics Spud Ink.
Wow, we're on to something there.
Another thing about Spud Ink, don't let me forget, but before that even, I mentioned on Hybrid Performance that we had another testimonial.
Yeah.
So this one was from Paul Foss, and you can find him on Instagram at PaulFossRN is his handle there. And he said, started with Hybrid Performance Method training when I decided to get into shape. Dropped 110 pounds and went from no strength to a 405 squat, 300 bench, and 505 deadlift.
Damn.
And none of you will be able to see it, but there's his, I'm showing Tommy his transformation photo, and it's a pretty significant transformation, 110 pounds.
No kid. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Paul Foss. Wow. Good job, man.
And saying he basically went from no strength whatsoever. I imagine he wasn't training and hadn't been to pretty respected.
405, 300, 505. I feel like those are like the aspirational goals of everyone that works out. It's like, if I could squat four plates, bench 300,
yeah.
and if I can get in the
Deadlift
500
over
club,
500, yeah.
that's like everyone's goal
Yeah,
right there. So
yeah.
man, that is awesome.
Yeah, and losing 110 pounds at the
On
same
top of
time.
it, yeah. I am
So
I'm impressed.
Hybrid performance method certainly worked for Paul.
God, he should get in touch with them. Let them know what they did to
That's
him.
what, yes. Yeah, I mean, they should share that testimonial with them. I think they should be using that.
Yeah. Go hang out with Steffi and Hayden. And
Yeah, they should give him an
do
all
hybrid
expense
things.
paid trip to Miami.
Yeah. Going to Miami.
So that was the hybrid testimonial. I also, speaking of Spud Inc., we have a What's in That Sack segment.
do.
What's in Tanner's sack?
Ooh.
So I almost forgot about that, and we don't want to miss that, I don't think,
Yeah,
do we?
let's check this sack out.
Just 1 second. Let me dig deep in
And
the
unlike
sack.
most sacks, there actually is a sack here. Okay.
This is one
Oh.
thing. It's actually just that one is pretty easy to tell what that is. It's
Okay, it's cloth. It's not a strap. It's an amazing Spudding t-shirt. Tanner.
very
So-
similar to this one that I'm wearing.
So now I don't have to feel left out.
And then
Awesome.
the other item, I intentionally did not do my homework on this, so I couldn't bias what we're working with here. But do you know what we've got here?
Well, it's some type of harness type strap of some kind, right?
yeah, I don't know.
Oh God, they
Yeah.
always trick us with
Yeah.
this stuff.
So this might have to be this might have to be one of those scenarios where we come back with what we've got here. This is something that we don't have. I know that. I have never seen it before, and I don't think it's anything that we've advertised. You know, it's not one of
Yeah.
the products that we've gone over on the podcast.
No, I'm really pretty sure we have not talked about this
No.
one before. It has to be straps of some kind because they're adjustable there, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that would be.
Nope. I don't know what it is either.
Well,
So we will have to look
Well-
up.
oh, whoa, wait. This isn't their front squat harness thing, is it? Because couldn't the bar slip through? Because see here, there's room in there.
Oh, that could be.
Could that be? No. Nah, we're gonna have to report back.
Yeah.
It's probably boring for people to listen to
No,
us to try and figure out what
They
it
do
is.
that on purpose. They
Yeah,
send us
I
stuff
know.
that
They
we
always-
don't know. That we don't know what it is. And we knew what the shirts were.
Yeah, I did get the shirt figured out.
And also, it wasn't in the sack, but we do have a flag that went up at
Oh yeah.
Massenomics Gym.
Yeah, it's a good looking flag
It
too.
is. The
It's
black
nice on
and
the
the
wall.
yellow does look good.
It does. A lot of people do not embrace the yellow.
You know what they say about the yellow on the black, what it does, the characteristic that it has?
What?
In the graphic design field, do you know what they would say that does?
No, I don't know.
It pops.
Yeah, it's one of the programs I use when it starts up. It says making it pop.
That's like, when you're getting into graphic design or like a new program that you don't really know how to use, but there's kind of like default like presets, and you like when you don't know how to do all the individual things, in detail, you can just select the make it pop.
Yep, the make it pop button.
Yeah.
You're all good.
Like, oh, that really popped.
It's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Tanner, I did right before you got here. I saw something. I'm not sure if you've seen this yet.
I did.
You did see it.
I saw it. I see it on
Do
your
you know what I'm
screen.
talking about?
Well, if it's what's on your screen right there.
That new bar,
Yeah.
that Donnie Thompson.
Yeah, I saw that today.
What did he call it again already?
I don't know
That's
what
what I
it's.
was looking at on my phone.
Is it like
and now I lost my phone.
like some sort of dinosaur thing? Is what I was thinking, but I'll find it here. Oh no, El Matador.
El Matador. That's what it
El
was.
Matador Bow Fat Bar.
Did you see whose name he mentioned with it though?
Oh, I did see that. Roberto Garza.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said what was it about Roberto Garza that he was testing it? He was one of the guys
Yeah,
using it.
yeah. I don't know if it was he tested it or
Yeah.
they kind of came up with it together. I can't remember what.
Yeah. And Roberto Garza, that's significant because he is a big fan,
He
big
is a
supporter
fan
of Massenomics
And he also played for the Chicago Bears.
for about a decade.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman. And I
And
did
he's
see
really
that.
strong too.
Yes, he is really strong. He is really strong.
Yeah.
Like deadlifts like 800 pounds and squats probably that much too.
Yeah.
But so what about the bar? Did you see what it looks like? How do you describe it? It's like an extreme bow.
It's just like an extreme, bow bar or kabuki or like a duffalo bar, but just like where those bars from the peak to the low point, like to the collar or the sleeve or whatever, whatever we call it.
I don't think they change a foot.
I was gonna say maybe 8 inches,
that's
somewhere
probably,
in there.
Yes,
where this one is several feet.
Yeah,
it basically, if you took like a camber bar. And then instead of having right angles, you
that's
curve
what
it out.
he kind of called it a hybrid between a camber bar and a bow bar. And when I saw it, my first thing was like, why? What the hell's the point? But then what I did see, he said, and this does make some sense to me. He said even with a bow bar, or even more so a normal straight bar or a camber bar, it's only hitting your back. It's only resting on your back in a certain spots. But this bar, and I did see it in the pictures and videos,
full contact,
full contact across your entire back evenly.
Assuming you're not super tiny.
Right. Yeah. Like at least on Donnie and stuff,
it's like hugging his body.
And I was like, oh, I guess there is something to that. I can see what you're saying with that.
And it'd be an interesting movement. It's got to make the squat feel different for sure.
Yeah. That thing is enormous though. Like that looks long as shit, and like that would not fit in. Like that has to have its own corner in the gym or something.
It would. I'm curious who's going to make it, because he said the manufacturer is going to be announced.
And it also looks like it's like that big around
because he's kind of big into the fat bar thing, and so I'm curious just how much it weighs on its own, who's going to make it, and then how much it's going to cost.
Right. Those are all
the specs. Those are always the fun things to look at with those.
Yes. But it was cool. It is, and it's, I always do like seeing bars.
Yeah, well, we'll have to stay tuned for more on that one.
I see, the Mars bar? Mm-hmm. I see they're set up at the Arnold, like right next to the animal cage this year, right next to Obsidian Ammonia.
Okay.
I'd be curious to, see if they would give us one for free to try out.
We'll give you this box of clothes if you can have one of those bars. A deal's a deal.
But I would like to get if they'll have it set up or something that you can try it, or I'm guessing they'll have one
set up there, or
they had one in the
last
cage.
year.
I think last year too. I would like to hop in there and just try, see what it feels like.
Like what is the hype behind this thing?
Yeah, we do have some connections there. We could probably weasel ourselves in.
Yeah,
if we had any spare time whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the bigger one. Do we have
not.
Connections that give us free time?
No.
Yeah. We are getting down there in time, Tanner, but we totally shouldn't have, but we forgot to talk about this last week.
Yeah.
Maybe the most impressive lift of all time.
Yes, that's what we should have teased with at the end of last week's episode. Is next week we're going to talk about possibly the most impressive lift ever. Mm-hmm. Possibly, arguably.
Yeah. It'd be really hard to not say it's in the top 5.
Yeah. We did a poll on this actually in the story. I don't have the immediate results, but so what was the lift?
Julius Maddox benching 700 for 3.
Yeah, in the gym.
Course. But any one of those probably just could have been a competition lift. It was
They're all paused reps.
Yeah,
and they're all good.
Yeah, none of them were tough.
None of them were raw.
Hard. Yeah, and none of them were hard.
No. No,
it seemed like he could have done a set of 5 or more if he wanted to.
Yeah, and to me, and I saw several people. I can't remember who all commented on it, but just some of the strongest people ever commenting on it and going, "This might be the craziest thing I've ever seen."
Yeah,
and
and it is. It's nuts.
Yeah, like I don't know. What would you say? Is it like what's great? I mean, I don't know. Eddie Hall deadlifted 500 kilograms. That's probably always in the.
But like, what's the most anyone ever has like repped out ever on the bench?
I don't think I've ever seen anyone do sets with 700. I don't think Krill's done sets with 700 plus.
That's
before.
what I couldn't think of that. Like, it's just so hard to even like think
done sets with 700 plus. Like, I don't think I don't know that I've ever seen anyone do 700 or more for more than a rep.
Yeah, and then even
I suppose Krill has done like 705 for a double or something like that, maybe. But I honestly don't think I've ever seen someone do 700 or more for more than 1 rep. And he just did 700 for 3 good pause reps.
And that is the other thing too that makes it so impressive is like deadlift, people can kind of, I don't want to say cheat it, but they can
There's things
use
that-
some
yeah.
factors to their advantage. With
Right. In
whether-
the gym, it can be they can have the straps and really take
can have the
advantage
straps.
of figure eight straps and
yeah, you could really use straps to your advantage.
take advantage of plates.
Put the plate,
wide
you
plates.
have a deadlift bar and have plates out to the very, very end
Yeah.
for the maximum,
Yeah.
time you get before it leaves the ground.
And what was Julius doing that would be like there's
That's
nothing.
It
There's
was
no
essentially
shortcut.
it was essentially a competition style.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with deadlift, people can make an argument of touch and go versus resetting is
Yeah.
easier too. Where these were just
And squatting, you can squat high.
and squatting, it's easy to squat high in the gym. In
yeah.
the gym, yep. But I don't know what you could
Yeah.
even say.
You could do touch and go reps on bench, but he didn't. He did pause
Yeah.
reps.
Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like you got a loss for words, like when you watch it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it seems like he's so far
Right.
ahead of
Oh boy.
who else is even in that realm.
I don't think anyone is anymore at this point. He's
Yeah.
separate. And, people were butthurt about when he broke the world record, but this last time, and it was, that stuff happened where the bar kind of fell and
Yeah.
spotters and stuff like that. But after seeing this, I don't think it's what I thought at the time, that it's not going to matter eventually
yeah, he's
because he's going to bench 750 now.
Yeah, well, assuming he wants to stick around, it's like, well, okay, in 5 years, the heaviest 10 bench attempts of all time are all going to be him.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder now. So another 675 and then another play to 765. I think he'll bench 765. Like, I don't know, like the way that I think he'll bench. I think he's competing in not that long, and
Is he?
I think he'll bench 750. I don't know what his goal is, but I bet it's to break 750. And I would bet, if I had to bet money that he will or won't, I think that he will.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, who the fuck is going
it's
to
just
break
like-
his record?
Yeah, it's just like that guy's in no man's land.
Yeah,
that's
he is.
It's totally uncharted.
Yes. But then it's
It'd
like,
be like if someone came and it's not even the best comparison, but so to say if someone just came and just was now deadlifting 1,200 pounds.
right.
It's granted that 1,100 wasn't done in a powerlifting meet, so you got to maybe look at powerlifting. But that also is what makes if someone does deadlift 1,000 in a powerlifting meet, it doesn't really make it as exciting because technically someone has deadlifted 1,100
It hasn't-
in a
wasn't to power-
deadlift.
yeah.
And that's just what makes those lifts a little less exciting. Is they kind of
Yeah.
have been done to some extent.
Right. Where this, if he goes and bench 750 and it's raw, granted there's been shirted benching, but that's so much different than
Yeah.
deadlifting if someone's wearing a suit or not doesn't look different.
No.
Very much different.
Yeah.
Benching if someone's wearing a multiply shirt or benching raw is completely different lifts. Like they do not look the same whatsoever.
Yep.
So because the fact that there's been 1,000-pound shirted benches I don't think it does have that fact.
I don't think so either.
Of taking away from it. Like
Yeah. And on top of it, it's
comparing
the
on
most
dead-
relatable lift of all time for people.
Right. Yes, everyone's laid down on the bench and tried to bench 185 or 135 or
And just
225.
repped out 300
Yeah.
plus.
But can you imagine? So what's 5 plates is 495, 6 is 585, 7 is 675, 8 plates would be 765 on each side of the bar.
So insane.
Yeah.
To think about with a raw bench.
He benches more than he benched 700 by 3. There's really strong people that can't squat or deadlift that.
Oh, most really strong
Yeah.
people can't do that.
Right.
Right. We're talking elite territory
Yeah.
when you're in either of those
Yeah.
for
Yes.
squat or deadlift. But really, really excited to see what the next year has in store for that
Yes.
guy. And I hope he stays healthy.
Yeah, I hope we see him at the Arnold again this year and can ask him
Yeah.
about some of that stuff.
His training secrets.
I just want to be like, what's the deal with you?
Yeah, like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
man? Like, explain this situation.
But then you
to me.
kind of see him and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like it'd be weird if you just didn't bench 550, 600 plus.
right.
So I mean, 700, yeah, that's awesome. But just the way you're built, you've set the bar really high for yourself before you've done anything.
Yes, for sure.
So we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Tanner, we are like 53 minutes deep here.
How is that even possible?
I'm kind of wondering the same thing. You read a few ads, the next thing you know, the episode's almost over.
Where does the time go?
Yeah.
That's what I start to wonder some of these
The dog's getting antsy down here for once.
Do we have to go to underrated overrated?
I think we probably do.
We just as a teaser for future episodes, we've got good name that lifter and Who Weighs More segments. There's good ones. Really, we've got really good ones on tap here, but you don't get to hear those today. So too bad.
Keep you around for the next one.
But you can hear about last week's overrated, underrated segment when we threw that on the Instagram story and got to see what the people said. The first topic from last week was Pringles.
People thought Pringles were underrated,
Yeah.
which really surprised me.
Like I was 76% underrated.
Like, it's pretty high. I said overrated because they're Pringles.
Yeah.
It just didn't,
People like Pringles more than I thought, though.
I guess.
I mean, I guess it's just other people just like them more. You know, if you, did you see the picture that I used though? It shows the air.
See, I think that made a pretty strong argument with some people because when I saw that, I was like, yeah.
But then I saw the rebuttal to this is
Well,
cross out injustice, and it's just clever packaging, and they cut the Pringles can in half and put it here and here. And
yeah,
it's the same.
I know.
It is just
Well,
clever.
it comes down to the weight. They probably weigh both the same,
Right,
if not.
exactly.
Pringles might even weigh less.
Right. But it is, if you just think on that on the surface,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, why am I buying that bag of air?
Yeah.
Chip card readers, you said
Overrated.
The people agreed 60%, but 40% of the people said that they're underrated.
Kind of surprises me. I guess people like waiting a long time to check out. A nice slow checkout process is a great experience for everyone. That then buzzes at you for doing it correctly. Yep.
Overrated though. It was an agreement. Then deadlift bars.
I eventually said underrated.
Yeah,
I took a really long time to get there.
Yeah, and said underrated. 68% of the people said underrated.
It doesn't surprise me. We have a powerlifting centric crowd.
Right, but if you're an IPF person or something like that, that explains
But even then, they might say underrated because they don't get to use them.
Right,
you know?
yeah. But 32% still said they're overrated. You know, and like you said, it's our followers are lifters.
Yep.
And 32, a third of the people still think that they're overrated. That's kind of interesting to me. Okay, the last one then. The people voted.
Yes,
do you have a vote?
You were on your way here when I looked at this and then realized I forgot to even look this up. I still don't even know what this is.
Hobo Johnson.
I don't know what that is.
He's a musical artist.
For who? What?
Just himself. Kind of YouTube, I think, is where he...
where that's his sweet spot?
Yeah.
Still just no idea.
So you'll still have to... The people said 59% overrated.
Okay.
41% underrated.
How many of them do you think knew who he was?
I'll see if there was less votes on this. Because usually I think if people don't know, they just don't
they
vote.
Trail off.
So like power bars, there was... at this point in time, there's 800 voters. And on Hobo, there's... 600. So there's 200 people that didn't vote, but there's still 600
Maybe
people
because
that voted.
they're just so torn on how to feel about him that they
That
couldn't
could be
make
too.
a
They said I can't
strong
decide.
opinion.
But I did get a few DM. I got more DMs about this topic than any of the other ones today.
What?
People that liked Hobo Johnson.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That said,
So he's got a very dedicated fan base.
yeah. Where people like if people were like, you can't do my man Hobo dirty like that. But I found out about him actually through my mom, who heard him on NPR.
Really?
Like I don't know what it, but they have a segment of like up and coming.
And he was on there.
He was on there, and he's been a favorite with me and my son as of late.
All right. Well,
If I could tell you one song to listen to, my favorite is Subaru.
Well, it's okay. I saw this in your snap. I
think the name of the song is Subaru Crosstrek 15.
So are the songs kind of like funny songs, or
A lot of them are.
Oh,
they
okay,
are kind of fun. And he's like, I guess, rap.
Yeah.
I think he's like a 19-year-old Mexican kid from California, I think is what.
Okay.
Yeah. I think his real name is, I can't remember. I don't know. Hobo Johnson's his real name, I guess. So you still have to actually come back with an opinion of Hobo Johnson next
still
time.
have to form that one.
Bernie's getting impatient. He's like, when are we going to get to
the
overrated?
dog is
underrated?
getting very impatient here for the first time ever. He's usually passed out the entire episode. I'm assuming he's wants someone to play with him badly right now. So I'm going to have to do some quick decisions here, Tanner.
Okay, so topic number 1 for this week's overrated or underrated. Auto start.
Auto start is, I don't care what anyone says, it is so underrated if you live in a cold part of the country. There's no way around that. If you live in a part of the country that's cold, auto start is underrated.
People that live somewhere really mild, maybe they think like, what do you even do that?
There
What
I
do you
can
even use that
I
for?
can totally see, like, I don't even know, like, I guess to get the AC running sooner in hot places.
Yeah.
But
if you've never had to run out to your car when it's like 20 below and start it, then you probably can't appreciate it as much.
I mean, if you don't start your car and it's outside, the windshield is frosted.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's that ice that doesn't come off, and you just got to sit and wait for it to come off.
And it's not even like good for your car when it's that cold to just like jump in it and be like, well, here we go.
Get the fluids going and then shut it off.
You could almost like hear it making weird. Yeah.
And like, whoa, why is my car making that whistle noise?
Yeah.
Like,
we when my Buick, when it starts in the morning when it's really cold, we say it's like a rocket ship taking off because it really it's a slow build up.
It is. Yeah.
Like, geez, is it gonna run through the garage?
I don't know what that is. It's got to be some pump like trying to pump the fluid, and the fluid is now turned to a solid, and it's trying to figure out what to do. But auto start is super key in this part of the country.
Yes. Speaking of fluids that almost turn into solids, overrated or underrated gravy?
Gravy is underrated. Gravy is always underrated.
Timely topic as we have
Thanksgiving just around the corner. In my opinion, it'd be hard pressed to find something that just doesn't work on food as well as gravy.
And I don't think we've done gravy on overrated and underrated. I know we've
think
talked
so.
about gravy. What do you like better, brown gravy or white gravy?
I like brown gravy more.
What about on a chicken fried steak?
Well, you got to go with what is customary there. And now we're talking, that.
Or what about biscuits and gravy?
Well, again, what is customary there? I play gravy by the book. There's rules to the gravy game.
But on
here.
your turkey and mashed potatoes, you want
dark
brown
gravy.
Yeah.
And I want it on, if it's turkey, I want it on a lot. I want a lot of it on the turkey.
It's necessary to.
But there's something about just Thanksgiving dinner. Everything can be smothered in gravy, and it's great. It's perfect.
Yeah. So you are saying
gravy is underrated.
Okay, talking about food still. Overrated or underrated? Brand specific Kraft macaroni and cheese, the blue box.
I actually personally think that just a regular old Kraft mac and cheese blue box is overrated. I went through a pretty big kick where if I was going to get, this is in college, but I thought that the spiral noodles actually was this one off-brand of spiral noodles I thought made the best mac and cheese.
Was it also a blue box?
No, it was like a purple box. Spiral noodles, they were so good. I loved that stuff. And I personally don't think that macaroni noodles are the best noodles for making macaroni. You need something with spirally.
What about shells and cheese?
I do like shells and cheese a lot.
Yeah.
And you also, though, there's the classic recipe we talk about once every few months. What's it, the capitava noodles or whatever?
Yeah.
They just, something about the shape of the noodle gets so much cheese in it, and it's amazing. So, Blue Box Crafted mac and cheese is overrated.
Overrated. I'll be curious to see what the people say, because there's probably some pretty diehard Blue Box people. Overrated or underrated? Last topic for the day. Movie sequels. It's pretty broad.
It's broad.
It's tough.
The thing that I hate about it is now everything's a sequel. There's it feels like there's so little like new and original ideas coming out, and that's really, really frustrating. But if you're telling a good story, give us more of that story. Maybe more of the frustrating thing is the reboot part, not just the sequel, the reboot. I think I'll probably get more annoyed with the reboots than the sequels, but sequels.
It's tough because there's good ones.
There's so many good ones and there's so many bad ones.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that have just like taken the sequel thing that took a movie that was okay and a sequel and just totally killed it in the next one, made it a whole new thing. But I'll say underrated, but I'm very torn on that.
Underrated.
I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt here.
Okay. So you're thinking of the good ones, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that does wrap up overrated, underrated for the week. Of course, that brings us towards the end of our show. We get ready for the grand finale now, where we talk about stuff you can purchase from us, and we do have those Black Friday deals coming up with a lot of new products. Tommy was actually wearing one of them today, but we couldn't release that just yet. Next week, we'll tell you about those new things, and I think we have 5 brand new items that will be released here next week. So stay in tune for those. We do have everything else stocked fully in the store. We've got the Don't Curl and Me flag, all the banners, all the shirts, the lift shorts, the deadlifter shorts, pint glasses, sticker packs. It's all there. You can make sure to like us on YouTube. Hit the bell there, I guess, so you get notifications when we post the podcast video, so you can be in the race for first comment. Like us on Facebook. Leave us a podcast review on Apple Podcasts. Get that number up there. If we can see the review, we will read it. And last thing here, we're going to hear from our supporting sponsors again for this episode. This episode was brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training-related, nutrition and body composition-related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible, just like Paul Foss was. Use code MASS in all caps for 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. Today's show was also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Games athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There is free shipping on any orders over $60, and 99% of those orders are shipped the same day that they are placed. Today's episode was also brought to you by Spud Inc., just like my shirt says. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, will not bust your budget, and most importantly, they leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. Thank you to our sponsors. Tommy, what's your Instagram handle if they want to follow you on there?
You can follow me at Tomahawk_D.
And you can follow the official Massenomics account at Massenomics. Thank you for 189. We'll catch you next time for 190.
See ya.